Delighted to say with us now is the Dons midfielder Luke McCormick. It's of course Friday afternoon, Saturday on the horizon, Burton Albion coming up at the Cherry Road Records Stadium. But let's catch up a little bit on terms of how you're doing settling in at Wimbledon. How's the commute? Tell us about that.
Yeah, obviously it's not too bad. It's just up the A3. So for me in the morning it's just over an hour, so it's fine really. And obviously it's a brilliant environment to come into every day. So get up, walk my dog, have my brekkie, get in the car, come and train, and then go home. So yeah, it's not too bad at all.
Quite a year for you because of course you've moved to Wimbledon and you've moved house off the pitch as well, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about that.
Yeah. Me and my missus moved into our first home. So that's been a bit of a whirlwind, as everyone probably understands. It's quite tough, but we're all boxed off now, and a couple of bits like the sofa and that type of stuff that takes about 25 weeks to come. But no, it's really nice to be settled off the pitch and have that switch away from football to come home and relax and concentrate on my family time, and then I can come and give everything when I'm here.
So does it come with a man cave?
I've got a games room, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got a games room.
What about the cooking? How are you doing with the cooking? Because I know George Marsh likes a bit of spaghetti bolognese.
Yeah, Marshy loves his spag bowl. No, I've always cooked, to be fair, but my missus also cooks, so we do Hello Fresh most nights. So that's something you can do together, so make sure I'm eating healthy. Beza's just smiling at me through the window.
Typical Beza. In terms of going away with the boys though, of course, who's your roomie and would you change him?
I won't lie to you, I don't have a roomie.
You don't?
I like having my own room, yeah, so you can opt to have your own room, and it's something I've always done really, because it's night away from the dog screaming and shouting, so I can just chill out and get a good night's sleep.
And in terms of, we've got of course a number of new signings, yourself being one of them this season, and a few new faces on the away trips. What's the best initiation song you've heard so far?
Ooh, it's got to be Simo. I'm sure you've heard of Simo's one, but yeah, that was like original, his own song, that was class, yeah.
And of course coming from Chelsea as well, talking about the fashion stakes here, we've had a few contenders in the last season as well. The likes of Jack Radonia's got some proper naughty gear as well.
Yeah, he's got some filthy stuff, but he pulls it off. Prez's have got some good gear, but everyone's obviously got their own like personal style, so can't knock it, can you?
Has the skipper's fishing jacket made an appearance this season yet?
Not quite yet. No, I'm sure it will though.
And of course, we've always got the music on around here, around the training ground as well. What's your track on the system?
A couple of Oasis ones, I think. Yeah, it's standard for me that.
Any ones that have kind of caught your ear that you've kind of thought, oh, I didn't hear that one before. Kind of like that.
There's one they have on the coach before the games. Something about dancing, or it's a little bit of a disco type track. But that's all right. I like that. Beza buzzes off it, so as long as he's happy, I'm happy.
Good. And of course, now turning to the issues of what we've got coming up on Saturday, Burton Albion. We got back at about 2:15 back at the training ground. So how'd you cope with that after?
Well, I didn't get back till about 4 o'clock, which was tough. But obviously recovered the next day. Watched the football that was on. Obviously Chelsea were playing in the evening, so that was nice. Apart from the result, and then obviously we were in on the Thursday, so we were in yesterday, got a good session on our legs. The boys recovered that played the majority of the minutes, and today we just had a really lively session and a good positive meeting. So spirits are high and the details there, and we all just need to rest and recover, go home, switch off, and then get ready to go again in front of our home crowd tomorrow.
Have you learned how to deal with that over the years now? Is it a tricky thing to try and recover after a gruelling midweek trip like that?
I think you get used to it, especially I've always sort of travelled, so the travelling aspect isn't too tough for me. Obviously not having as much time at home with moving house has been a little bit difficult, but it's something that I think I've dealt with quite well, getting into good routines, and I think that helps on the pitch, and I've definitely seen it in training now. I've nailed down on a couple bits, getting to bed earlier, little details that sound silly but make a big difference, and it's the 1% and 2% and at this level that make the difference. So I think the travelling was tough, but Chris has got us all back to full fitness, and I don't think we had any injuries from the game, which is good, so credit to the medical team, and we go again Saturday.
And that relationship that you've got with the gaffer, with Robbo now, I mean, it seems to be a very strong one. It's developed very well, and you have a few words with him on the coach on the way back here. Good chat with him.
Yeah, since the day I met him personally, I've had a really strong relationship, which is growing every day. The more we get to know each other on and off the pitch, and I think he's got a brilliant relationship with all the boys. That's probably, he would say, his biggest quality would be his communication, and the way he speaks to you with everyone's equal and there's no hierarchy, and you can have a good chat with him. So I think that's obviously key to have a relationship with the manager, but also to carry out what messages he wants to get across to us.
We made a cracking start, of course, but we're just going through a little bit of a tricky patch at the moment.
Yeah.
We heard from Ethan Chislett the other night, and he was mentioning the words, we've got to perhaps deal with the dark arts a little bit, and Robbo wants us hard to beat. That's something you sharing, yeah?
Yeah, I think if you look back through history, the best teams at any level have always been hard to beat, hard to play against, good at the back, don't leak too many goals. It's the fundamentals. It's what's at the bottom of our brick wall. It's the elite behaviours. It's day in, day out, and that's what we just pulled away from a little bit, because maybe we were getting carried away, and we've had such a positive, bright start as a new young team in the league that obviously it's quite easy to get carried away. But the fans have been brilliant. I see when you're clapping at the end of the game, the support. We're 3-0 down at Rotherham, they're all going, come on, keep your heads up. They feel obviously that it's a positive environment, and they love what we're doing, so we can only thank them for that. It really pushes us on to come in again Thursday after a tough trip and go again. So yeah, I'd say it was a good start. I think it could have been better in terms of that we dropped a few points in terms of drawing games that maybe we should have won. But in all things, a positive start, and it's something to build on now.
People sort of look at your career and they'd say, obviously Chelsea, strong upbringing, playing good football and so on, but you're well aware of scrapping, doing the hard part of the game from when your experience with Bristol Rovers, yeah?
Yeah. My 2 loans previous to this, obviously I've been in League One, so I know what it's all about. And that's where you got to start every game. That's what you got to be thinking of. That's what you base your game off. It's not, obviously I want to add goals and assists and I want to contribute up the other end of the pitch, but as a team we've all got to be working together. We've got to do the basics and the scrappy stuff, and like Chiz says, the dark arts, because against Rotherham we didn't get found out, but they were better at that than we was on the night, and doesn't mean that we haven't got that in our locker, but it's just something that we need to really work on.
We lost Ayub, of course, to suspension, and I think you picked up a few yellows yourself, but you've got to kind of find that line, that balance of competitiveness, without changing your game too much, yeah?
Yeah, I like to get stuck in, and I think I've been partial to a yellow if you have a look at my record, but it's something that you want to play on the edge. You want to have that competitiveness, and when you get the hunger in your belly, I think it's quite hard sometimes, but obviously that comes with experience, I think, and obviously more minutes on the pitch and learning the game, and that will come. But obviously we've got to be sensible with that type of stuff and stay on our feet, or send them back, and try not to give away silly fouls.
And of course we made a cracking start in terms of scoring goals. I mean, you yourself have come up with a couple as well.
Yeah.
In the absence of the likes of Ollie Palmer at the moment and Aaron Presley, a lot on his shoulders. I mean, it's everybody's responsibility to chip in at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the outside may look at it and think, well, Ollie's injured, he's a big part of the team, no doubt, massive personality, let alone his football qualities. But obviously he's still around, even though he's injured, he still has an influence. And with Prez, he's a 19-year-old boy who's got the world at his feet. He's a top striker, and you can see that. But to have that, I don't think it's fair to say that pressure is all on him. With the boys around him, we've got to chip in, we've got to help him out, run off the back of him, because we want him scoring goals. So if we're not doing our job, he's not scoring goals. So I think the pressure's shared, and we all feel that, and I hope that's just understood that Prez is young, we're all young, and obviously missing Palms is big, but we've all just got to get behind him, and he's more than good enough and more than capable enough, as he's shown, to score goals for this football club, and I'm sure he will.
Robbo said that this is kind of new territory for him at the moment, going into the run of defeats we've had. But do you think it's something that will come through a lot stronger for once we get through this run? No
doubt. It gives you a chance to reset and go again, and maybe things that we breeze over when we beat Morecambe 4-3, or we're still conceding 3 goals. So although it looks great, there's still things that in-house we needed to deal with in detail, and it's just you go again, it's the process. You go back to the brick wall, we go back to detail. The training levels today were excellent after our meeting yesterday and today, so going into the game we're feeling fresh. I know we've got an international break, so we'll be emptying the tanks and giving it all, and the fans will obviously, how they have been. We can only thank them for their support and how they've been with us and getting behind us. So at Plough Lane tomorrow, we'll be right at it from the first whistle.
That's good to hear. They're, of course, they're a very physically strong side. Again, it's to be another one of those games we're going to have to really compete to get the points off them. But how important is it to try and get points from this game when we go into, as you say, like a 2-week break now?
Yeah, I think there's a cliche in football, you speak about getting a good win under your belt before an international break, but listen, we want to get 3 points and take that from every game we play in, regardless of the competition or who it is and what game it is or whatever. We want 3 points. We never play to draw or to lose, we always play to win. So regardless, tomorrow, whoever's in front of us, Burton or whoever it might be, we'll respect them, but we're there to take 3 points, and that's what we're aiming to do.
Good to hear, Macca. Thanks very much indeed for your time.
Thank you, boys. Appreciate it.